I'll give you 1,000,000 if you cure me, laughed the Dragon Emperor. But when the human, I'll give you 1,000,000 if you cure me, laughed the Dragon Emperor, his voice rolling like thunder through the vaulted marble chamber. His fanged grin gleamed in the golden torchlight, but his eyes were tired. Too tired for someone who claimed to be immortal. The human, Arlen, didn't laugh. He simply set down his worn leather satchel on the polished floor. I'm not a healer for hire, he said, kneeling to unfasten the straps. And I don't take payment in coin. Oh! The Emperor tilted his massive head, crimson scales catching the light like embers. Then what do you want? Jewels? A kingdom? The loyalty of dragons for 10 generations. Arlen shook his head. Something you've never given anyone. The Emperor arched a ridged brow. And what's that? Your honesty. That actually silenced the great dragon. The amused smirk faded into something harder, more guarded. For a long moment, only the faint crackle of the torches filled the air. Finally, the Emperor snorted. You presume I've lied. I know you have. Arlen pulled out a small glass vial, its contents swirling with silver light. Whatever is killing you, it isn't sickness. It's a curse, and you curse yourself. The dragon's eyes flared, and for a heartbeat Arlen thought he might be incinerated where he stood. You know nothing of my affairs, human. I know enough, Arlen said calmly. You bound your soul to the throne of flame to ensure no rival could overthrow you. It made you unbeatable, but it's also eating you from the inside. The Emperor's claws tightened on the marble floor, leaving deep grooves. That throne was my birthright. Without it, you'd still have your life, Arlen interrupted, and perhaps even your heart. The dragon let out a slow breath, smoke curling from his nostrils. So you mean to cure me by stripping me of my power? I mean to give you a choice, Arlen corrected, holding the vial aloft. The silver light would pulse in rhythm with the Emperor's own heartbeat. This can sever your bond to the throne. It will free you, but it will also make you mortal. The silence that followed was heavier than stone. The Emperor's laugh, when it came, was brittle. And why would you offer this to me? You're a human. My kind has ruled yours for centuries. My death would serve you better. Arlen's gaze was steady. Because I'm not here to serve my revenge. I'm here to keep a promise. The dragon blinked. A promise? Arlen's voice dropped, quiet but sharp as a blade. To your daughter. The Emperor's eyes widened ever so slightly. Thalera, his deep voice trembled for the first time. She came to me 3 years ago. Arlen said, his tone still even, said she didn't care about the throne or your wars. She just wanted you to live long enough to see peace. He took a breath. She died before she could see that. But I promise her I'd try to save you. The Emperor lowered his head until his great golden eye was level with Arlen's. And if I refuse, then I leave. The curse will finish you within a year. The dragon's tail lashed across the floor, splintering the marble. You dare threaten me in my own hall? Arlen didn't move. No, I just tell the truth. Something you said you'd give me. For a long time, the Dragon Emperor said nothing. His gaze wandered to the towering black doors that led to the throne of flame. The cursed seat called to him still, whispering power, dominion, eternity. But alongside it came the burning in his veins, the gnawing hollow where his strength once lived freely. At last he exhaled, a sound like a mountain collapsing. If I do this, I will be vulnerable. My enemies will come for me. Arlen corked the vial and slipped it back into his satchel. That's called being alive. The Emperor's lips curved into a wry, almost human smile. You are either the bravest fool I have ever met or the most dangerous healer. Maybe both, Arlen said. The dragon's eyes softened, just enough to show the weight of centuries. Very well, human. Let us see if your cure can do what my pride could not. They walked together into the chamber of the throne. The seat blazed with living fire, its molten frame thrumming with ancient power. Even Arlen felt its pull, the seductive promise of glory without end. The emperor hesitated at the foot of the dais. Once I do this, there's no going back. That's the point, Arlen said, uncorking the vial again. The silver light leapt toward the dragon, eager, alive. The emperor stepped forward, lowering his head until the liquid silver poured into his open maw. The moment it touched his tongue, the chamber roared with the sound of cracking chains. Chains no one could see. The throne's fire dimmed, flickered, and finally guttered out. The dragon emperor staggered, his wings sagging. The air around him grew cold. For the first time in over a millennium, he shivered. "It's done," Arlen said quietly. The emperor looked at his claws. They no longer glowed with inner heat. They were just claws now, sharp but mortal. He let out a breath that sounded almost like a sigh of relief. "Kilira was right about you," he murmured. Arlen blinked. "She told you about me?" The emperor's smile was faint, but real. "She said there would come a day when I would have to choose between my throne and my heart. I didn't understand until now." He straightened, no longer the untouchable ruler of all dragonkind, but something far rarer, a king who could die. Arlen slung his satchel over his shoulder. "Then I suppose my work here is done." The emperor's voice rumbled low. "Perhaps not. A mortal king still needs an honest man at his side." Arlen paused at the doorway, glancing back. "We'll see, Your Majesty. We'll see." And for the first time in centuries, the dragon emperor's laughter was not the sound of arrogance, but of a man truly alive.